My name is Seth Keeping It Real. My goal is to help people learn the concept of taking something as small as a dime and doubling it until it becomes a large amount of money, but not just having that money to spend, but turning that money into something that will make you so much more money, give you margin, give you time to do other things in your life instead of just working at a job the best years of your life only to retire old and disappointed that you could not do things like jump out of an airplane with a parachute on your back, which I actually got to do, which was really fun. Today we are talking about how to price your products. Now, how do I know how to price them, especially in light of the competition? I'm also going to share a tool with you. It is so important that you know your numbers, and this tool will give you the fast and quick knowledge so you know exactly what you're spending, how much you're making, what your profit is, what your potential loss could be if you're not careful, what the fees are, all of it. I have run into many a seller on Amazon and eBay who didn't track their fees. They didn't track their expenses, and they ended up losing money instead of making money. It felt good because they had all these sales coming in, but they didn't price it correctly, and they lost money. I've seen other people who priced it way too high. They didn't get sales, and it required an objective set of eyeballs to look at their product and say, look, you got to be competitive in this marketplace in order to succeed. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing I'll do is we will go to one of the products we found in a previous video, a really potential hot seller right now on Amazon. And I guarantee you this, you're going to start seeing more and more copies of this in the very near future because of competition. Only 166 reviews is insane. It's a super easy product. There's no moving parts. There's no patent on it. I mean, it's a sign. How do you mess up on a sign? How does a customer say, oh, it broke? You know, you just post it. Anyways, how do I price this? If I want to sell a sign like this, what do I do? First of all, I'm going to differentiate it by, remember the 3 tools of differentiation? 1, I build it off the competitor's weaknesses. I make sure if there's an issue with this sign, like let's say it's rusting too quickly, let's say the paint's coming off, I'm going to make sure I have a high quality paint on there and it fixes that issue. That's differentiation. Another way I differentiate is I'm going to package it differently. Now this may not be appropriate for packaging because of the size, but if I can, I will. The third way is by accessorizing. How do you accessorize a sign? What do I add on this? Well, the one thing that keeps coming to mind is see that little hole right there? And see that little hole right there? What if I include nails that work really well for posting this sign? Again, it might seem silly, but if they came in a little plastic bag about, this size, and there's a picture of it next to it, says comes with nails for fixing the sign to a wooden post, that is going to increase the value. Those nails might cost me 3 cents a set, but I can charge at least $3 more for the entire thing. You see what I mean? When you add an accessory, the value of what you're adding is much lower than the perception of value add to your potential buyer. So when you add an accessory to differentiate yourself from the competition, increase the price a little bit. You can get really strong with this on packaging. If it's a kind of product that you can package, let's say it is a toothbrush, and you put some really cool, sick-looking packaging on that toothbrush. It looks way better than the competitor, which just looks like a plastic bag practically, or a little Ziploc-y. Yes, you can charge another 50, 75 cents for that toothbrush because you packaged it so well. So make your product look better, charge a little more. That, my friends, is how you price your product. But the second question is, how do I calculate cost and profit? How do I make sure I'm making plenty of money? And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Here is a tool that I've used. I built it over the years, and it's simple, but it is powerful. It saves me a ton of time and headache in trying to figure things out. I have built-in formulas. I will share this with you so you can use it as well. You could just plug in the numbers, and it will spit out the accurate results. Let's start with a toothbrush. Let's say I got it not at a yard sale, but I got it from a supplier on DHgate. And let's say the cost on DHgate is 0.25 cents per piece. I'm going to do a package, so I'm going to say toothbrush, and I'm going to say pack of 5, okay? And so the cost for the pack of 5 is going to be $1. Now, so 20 cents a piece. Now keep in mind, be very careful about this. If you buy the product from your supplier and it's $1 a piece, but you're going to sell it in packs of 5, make sure you account for that in the spreadsheet. Whatever the wholesale cost on the spreadsheet, which is right here under this column right here, okay, the wholesale cost needs to accurately reflect the total of this, not just one of these toothbrushes, but the whole thing, okay? So if it costs me $1 per toothbrush, just to be simple, from the supplier, then I'm going to put $5 here because I'm selling packs of 5, all right? Let's say I purchased 1,000 packs of 5, okay? So 5,000 toothbrushes, 1,000 packs of 5, and they're all packaged really nicely in little sets of 5. And it cost me $500, right? That means it costs me 50 cents per package, right? So for example, if I do 500 divided by 1,000, there we go. Bam, 500 divided by 1,000 is 50 cents. So going back to the screen here, shipping for each pack costs me 50. So you need to calculate that. All you need to do is take the number of items and divide that into the shipping cost. So then I'm going to go over here, retail shipping loss. Now this only matters if I am selling it from my house or warehouse as a merchant. So on Amazon, you can be an Amazon FBA seller. You can also be a merchant seller. It's all the same account, but FBA simply means you are personally sending it to Amazon, and Amazon fulfills the orders for you. They ship it out to your customer every time they buy. Whereas merchant means every time the customer buys, you ship it out yourself, okay? So retail shipping loss would be the cost you pay to ship it out to your customer only applies if you are selling your product as a, sorry, I can spell product as a merchant, okay? If you're doing FBA, this is irrelevant. I do both because I get 10% of sales still from being a merchant seller, so it's worth it to me to collect that extra, and I do have plenty of space to store. Amazon fee. This is very, okay. After you create your product listing on Amazon, which I'll show you in a later video, you'll want to put this in to be the exact number, but as a general rule, this is going to be 15% of your retail price. So which if I double click it, if it's FBA, 12% if it's merchant, 50% if it's FBA. So notice I did 0.15 times the retail price, right? I hit the check. This 0.75 is 15% of that, all right? So again, I'll show you as a general rule with exceptions, the fee for selling product as a merchant where you ship it is 12%. And the fee for selling the product as FBA, where Amazon ships it to Prime account buyers, is 15%. Now it depends on the category. Depending on the category, some are higher, some are lower, but that's the general rule across the board, okay? eBay fee, if I'm selling an eBay, and that's a completely different course, I would explain this, but I'm not going to right now. Total cost including PayPal fees. PayPal is irrelevant on Amazon. It's only relevant on eBay, so you don't have to worry about that it says that up there. I just use it for both. But this right here is giving me the total cost of all of these. So now you see this little toothbrush pack of, 5 toothbrushes that was supposed to cost me $1. When you include the wholesale shipping, when you include the Amazon fee, it's costing me $2.25. That's really important information. You have to know your numbers. So many businesses and passive income specialists have failed because they didn't know their numbers. You've got to know your numbers. If you know your numbers, you know your profits, you can make calculated risks, not stupid risks. I'm just going to be blunt. It's stupid not to know your numbers. You've got to know your numbers and create a system where it's super easy. That's why I created this. The next thing is the retail price. So let's say the competitors, when I found this product, I saw other people selling toothbrush packs of 5, and they were selling it for $4.40, but because I threw in a flosser, let's say they were selling it for $4, because I threw in a flosser, I'm now gonna raise the price of mine. Oh, and I put in really nice packaging. I'm gonna sell mine for $5. One of the reasons I recommend you raising the price above your competitors, especially when you add nice packaging, logo, and an accessory, is it also gives the perception of value. I mean, if you saw a toothbrush and it was 50 cents and you saw that one for $5, you immediately think the $5 one has more value. Now, if they look exactly the same and you can't tell them apart, you're going to buy the 50-cent one because that would be stupid, right? But if this one has something else added to it and it says something about its quality, you're probably thinking, ooh, that's going to last me longer. I don't want a piece of crap. See what I mean? It's all about psychology, and it's really fun. Okay, back to the drawing board. So you got your retail price at $5, retail shipping gain. Let me explain. All this means, and I'll write it in for you, is only applies if you are a merchant seller selling, or let's say, shipping the product to your customer yourself. Okay? So this is what the customer pays for shipping. Guys, when I began on Amazon, I first started on eBay, then Amazon. I started selling, I had a ton of books from school, so I started selling them off. I used to have over 3,000 books. And I learned a lot about shipping doing this. I realized it's going to cost me a certain amount to send it as media mail, but the shipping price to them often was higher than what it cost me. So I'd make a little money on that. See what I mean? So if you go back to this graph here, if you sell as a merchant seller, this retail shipping gain is going to be how much you're gaining by them paying shipping. So for example, if I just said, okay, it's basically going to be the difference between the shipping cost to you and the shipping cost to your customer. No, I'm sorry. My bad. All retail shipping gain is how much they're paying for shipping. So if they're paying $2 for shipping, boom, you put it in. And it adds to your profit right here. Did you see that? I'll do it again. Whoops. Close that. So let me go back here. So for example, if there's no shipping cost to the customer, if they're not paying anything, $2.75. If they pay me $2 in shipping, watch what happens when I hit enter. Bam, it went up to $4. See what I mean? Again, Amazon FBA, you don't have to worry about this, but this does matter if you're selling as a merchant. So that's why I include retail shipping loss, what I pay for shipping, which I need to calculate ahead of time so it's accurate, right? Weigh the product, go to USPS.com or UPS.com and figure it out, and retail shipping gain, what I'm charging for shipping. Again, Amazon FBA, this is irrelevant. Now you can see my total profit is going to be $2.75 every time I sell a pack of 5 toothbrushes with floss. What is my percentage? Well, my profit is 122%. My profit off of this is why is it 122%? Because it actually cost me $1.50 to buy it, 75 cents in fees. So I'm actually going to make all that money back plus 22%, plus the amount of the product more and another 22%. Make sense, you guys? Okay. So if this number right here is anywhere from 50 to 150, that's really good. Higher than 150, you're doing awesome. Total quantity, this is how many packs of 5, okay? I can drop in, let's say I have 100 for my first order, so I'll change that to 100. So I have 100 packs of 5 toothbrushes. Now this gives me the total cost. It is going to cost me a total of $225 to purchase 100 packs of these toothbrushes. That includes this, and it includes the fees. Obviously I don't pay the fees until I sell it, but I wanna know what my total costs are. That's very, very important to know, okay? All this is doing is it's multiplying the quantity that I'm going to sell by the total cost for each pack. And it gives me the total cost. Total revenue means the total money I'm going to get back is $500. And of course, total profit is the difference between the total cost and the revenue. Revenue is how much, okay, if I sell, just look at it this way, guys. If I sell all 100 packs of 5 toothbrushes, okay, all the money I get back is $500. But since I spent $225, right, I made $275. See, this is good. I need to know my numbers. If I know my numbers, I can forecast and make wise decisions. I can say, hey, this is pretty good. You know, for these little tiny wimpy toothbrushes, I don't want to say wimpy, but I mean, it's a simple product. I'm going to make $275. Do I need to live off that? No. I can invest that in this other product I've been looking at. So as soon as I make that money back, I can take part of it to buy more toothbrushes and then use the leftovers to buy a sample of something else I think will be really good. See what I mean? When you know your numbers, you can make smart decisions. You don't just get a bunch of money and spend it and get a bunch of money and spend it. Before you know it, like, wait a minute, I ran out of money. I didn't make a smart decision. So make sure you know your numbers. And we'll send you this spreadsheet if you like. It's a super helpful tool. Hey, this is Seth Kniep, keeping it real. As always, I wish you the best. Do not forget the power of a dime. Focus on the little successes. They will bring you larger successes, and it is a fun way to live. Take care. Have an awesome day.